Yes, very good evening to all of you. Please check it out whether audio and video is clear or not. Then we can start our discussion. Hi Syed, hi Jack. Yes, very good evening to all of you. Please check it out whether. Yes, hi Pujita, all of you. Hi, good evening. Yes, ma. Straight away we can start our discussion. Now, in today's revision class, we can cover one A category topic, that is an advanced tax. Yes. Next one. What is the next? Interest. Advance tax and interest. Remember, so totally we can get the one question from descriptive. Practical question we can get, ma. Practical question we can get from this chapter. Along with they can give an MCQ also. Along with that they can give one MCQ also. Average we can get 7 marks from this chapter. To be honest, so this is only our CMA final syllabus. Interest chapter only our CMA final syllabus. This is in CMA inter syllabus only, but in order to know about the interest related provisions, we need a background of an advanced tax. That's why we can discuss advanced tax first, then after we can start the interest related provisions. Okay, now straight away. So give me a reply regarding that all the things, then we can start our discussion. Yes, what is a general rule or golden rule in taxation? I think you know, if any income earned during that previous year, on that income, we can pay the tax in assessment year by way of filing the return of incomes. Yes, I think you know, we have 3 due dates are available. So, 3 due dates are available for filing of return of income. Yes, can you tell me 31st 7, 31st October, 30th 11. So this is a normal SC, this is a company on tax audit SC, this is for transfer pricing provisions applicable SC, different due dates are available. So there is no impact of an extended due dates on our coming attempt. Okay, if they are given due date extended mentioned in that question, you can take that extended due date. Otherwise, these are the due dates only you have to take. Okay. Now, but remember, if one fellow earned income on the first day of previous year, on that he paid the tax on what ma? So in that assessment year on 31st 7. So can you tell me here, there is a huge time gap between, one payment of tax, another one is what ma? Earning of income. Because of this time gap, the government having the loss or department having the loss in terms of time value of money. In order to remove the time gap, department introduced the two mechanism. One is an advance tax and second one is an TDS and TCS. Now you have to tell me which mechanism is best towards the government also. So during the previous year, you are required to pay that advance tax generally in 4 installments. We can discuss it further. But TDS and TCS concept, I will tell you. Example, if you are a salaried employee, before receiving the total salary in your hands, employer will deduct the tax and that will be paid to government. Every month it will be happen. Or if you are receiving any income, that automatically payer will deduct the tax. So that means which one isn't better to the government ma? TDS isn't government. Why? TDS and TCS mechanisms are the better to the government compared to that advance tax. Why? Before reaching that income into my hands itself, the tax deducted and tax paid to that whom department by the payer. That's why obviously TDS and TCS only the better mechanism for collecting the tax. And they introduced that advance tax also. Now our concentration totally related to advance tax portion. Now, in this chapter, we have to discuss the 3 parts now. First, advance tax. First, what is it? Advance tax. Second one is interest. Third one related to fees. We are getting an MCQs frequently from these fees because every student can ignore this portion of fees in this chapter. Hardly we have an just 4 sections. That too, these 2 sections are already covered in the return of income itself. I think 234F is related to fees for late filing of return of income. 234H is nothing but if you are not creating a linkage between the Aadhaar and PAN, yes, this is an fees. So these two already over. Exclusively we need to discuss these two fees related provisions in this chapter. From this fees concept, they are asking at least one MCQ in every alternative attempts. That's why we can cover all the things. Yes, be cool, we can complete within 2 hours entire chapter, but active participation is required. Worth watching. That is an 8 marks. Definitely average 7 to 10 marks we can get from this chapter. So first, within first 10 minutes, I want to cover the advance tax related provisions. Advance tax related provisions are starting from the 207 to 219. 207 first we can start meaning of advance tax. Already we can define the meaning. If any tax paid in advance is called as what ma? Advance tax. If any tax paid in advance is called as advance tax. Normally in assessment year we are required to pay, but if you paid in advance in the previous year, that is only called as what ma? Advance tax. We can define in this way also. If any tax paid by the SSC during the previous year, that is only advance tax. Third one is an important, maybe you can get as an MCQ. While you are earning itself, if you are paid any tax, that is only advance tax. We can earn that income during the previous year. In that previous year only, while you are earning that income, if you are paying any tax, that is only advance tax. That is only section 207. Now, I want to shift directly to the 209. Then after we can discuss the 208. Please refer the section 209 provision. Shall we start? Yes. 209 is nothing but calculation of advance tax liability. Sir, you are asking to pay the advance tax in a previous year. How to calculate the advance tax liability? How much I need to pay? How to calculate this advance tax liability? That all the clarifications are given in 209. Shall we start, ma? Yes. In 4 steps, you can calculate the advance tax liability. In step number 1, please estimate the total income during the current previous year. We can know the total income at the end of the current previous year only, but that's why actual income you can know at the end of the previous year, but that's why in this provision they are saying estimate. Based on estimations only you can pay the advance tax. Next, there is an income. On that, please calculate the tax liability. Tax liability means all the 3 components you can calculate: income tax, surcharge, and health and education cess. After that, you can calculate the advance tax liability you got in step 2 minus TDS minus TCS minus arrears related relief. Arrears of salary related, you can get the relief under section 89(1) that you are not required to pay. That's why remove. Sir, why we are removing these TDS and TCS before advance tax payment itself, before reaching that income into my hands itself? We paid these 2 type of taxes. With regarding these taxes, again, no need to pay advance tax. That's why please reduce these 3 things. In problem, I will tell you some more credits you can reduce, but in problem, I will tell you these are the basic points I am telling you. But in problems, I can tell you the more credits also you can remove. Okay, but finally, after removing these credits, yes, you will get the balance advance tax liability. In step 4, if your balance advance tax liability is more than or equal to 10,000, important for an MCQ. Yes, if your balance advance tax liability is more than or equal to 10,000, yes, remember, SSE is liable to pay the advance tax. Sir, if I calculated these total steps, I got 9,000. No need to pay advance tax liability during the previous year. If you got an advance tax liability more than or equal to 10,000, you are required to pay advance tax. Now, so directly we can go with the one more section now, ma. What is the section number? 208. So 208 is nothing but relaxation, or we can call it as an exception. What is a relaxation? What is an exception? I will tell you. This relaxation or exception for payment of an advance tax is provided to resident senior citizen who not having the PCBP income. No need to pay advance tax. What is that? No need to pay advance tax even if your balance advance tax liability is more than or equal to 10,000. Yes. In our example, please check example number 2. Mr. B is a senior citizen, resident senior citizen, advance tax liability 15,000. He is not at all having the PCBP income. So that's why balance advance tax liability as per section 209, if you calculated, you got 11, sorry, how much more? 15,000. But no need to pay advance tax. So that's why advance tax will not apply. No need to pay advance tax. This is only relaxation. On this, in December 24 attempt, they are given the 4-mark question. Remember, if you are resident senior citizen and you don't have any PCBP income, even though if your balance advance tax liability more than or equal to 10,000 also, no need to pay advance tax. Are you clear? But here you are in resident senior citizen only. Advance tax liability 12,000, that is more than or equal to 10,000. But here you have an PCBP income. So that's why exception will not apply. So that's why advance tax provisions will apply. You are required to pay advance tax. Are you clear? Now, section 209 also over. 210 is a very small provision. Sir, how to pay advance tax, sir? Yes, advance tax is required to pay in installment wise. Sir, what are the installments dates? If you want to check that installments dates, yes, please check the 211. Advance tax is not a single payment, it is an installment wise payment. How many installments? All the details you can check in 211. Now we can start the 210. Yes, you have to pay that advance tax in installment wise only. Next, 211 we can check what are that installments dates. From these you can get a question also. Listen carefully. So for this knowing about that advance tax installments, we are classifying that SSEs into two types. SSE, if he opted the presumptive taxation provisions under section 44 AD, 44 ADA, not 44 AE. If you opted the presumptive taxation provisions under section 44 AD, 44 AE, sorry, 44 AD, 44 ADA, for you, single installment during that previous year, that is on 15th March of previous year. 15th March of what previous year. Sir, I am not following the presumptive taxation provisions, sir. Yes, that is on 44 AD or 44 AE, sorry, 44 ADA. I am not following, sir. Okay, if you followed 44 AE also, this thing only. If you followed the 44 AE also, the same due dates are available. 44 AD ADA SSC is a single due date. Otherwise, I am not following the presumptive taxation provisions under these two sections, sir. Normal provisions I am following, or 44 AE I am following. For you, how many installments, ma? 4 quarterly installments. So 15th 6th of previous year, 15th 9 of previous year, 15th December, 15th March. Suppose as per section 209, if you haven't balanced advance tax liability 1 lakh, I think you know how to calculate the balance advance tax liability. As per this calculation, we got 1 lakh. So then how to clear within that 4 installments? Remember, on or before 15th June, you have to clear at least 15% of the advance tax liability. Calculate 15%, that is in 15,000. More than if you paid also okay, but you can't pay less than that. Next, second installment, at least 45%. That's why these percentages are expressed in a cumulative form. So, upon this date, you have to clear 45,000. but already you paid in the first installment 15,000, then balance if you paid at least 30,000, that's okay. Next installment, they are saying 75%. So on this date, you have to clear total 75%. First installment, you paid 15,000. Second installment, you paid 30,000. So that's why balance 30,000 if you paid also, okay. Last installment, 100% of the advance tax liability you are required to clear. So that's why 1 lakh you need to pay. First installment you paid this amount. Second installment you paid this amount. Third installment you paid this amount. Yes, balance if you paid at least that amount, okay. Safe side in practical scenarios, all the SSEs will pay the more than the required only in order to escape from the interest provisions. In order to escape from the interest provision. Are you clear? Percentages 15, 45, 75, 100%. Remember, there is some exceptions like here 12%, here 36. I will discuss at the time of interest calculation. But 211 is given these percentages only. Now, as per the advance tax definition, if any tax paid during the previous year, that is an advance tax only, na? Yes, 31st March of an previous year. But they are saying the due dates, yes, even though if you following the prism 2 also, if you are not following the prism 2 also, or if you following the 44 AE also, what is the last due date for payment of advance tax? 15th March only. So that's why I will say one thing. Yes, they are mentioned it as a due date. Before this due date, you have to clear. But on or after this date, but before the last day of the previous year, if you paid any tax also, that is also treated as advance tax only. Remember this point. They are saying the due dates, yes, 15th March only in the two cases. But even though if you paid on or before 31st March of an previous year, yes, that is only on or before 31st March of previous year if you paid any tax. That is treated as advance tax only. Are you clear? Next one. Section. Yes, next one. We can discuss the last section 219. Yes, ma. Shall we start 219 discussion? It is also important, ma. Sir, already I paid some amount of tax as an advance tax during the previous year. Do I need to pay again in that assessment year? No. While you are calculating the tax in assessment year, whatever that advance tax you paid during the previous year, that you can take it as an what mark? Credit. That you can take it as an credit. That is only the section 219. So whatever that advance tax you paid during the previous year, that you can take it as a credit while you are paying the tax in the assessment year. Yes, give me confirmation about your understanding up to now with respect to that advance tax provisions, ma. Yes. So just we have an 207, 208, 209, 210, 211, 219 only. These are the sections only we have in advance tax chapter. Then we can forward to the interest chapter. Please give me confirmation. Yes, ma'am. All of you. Now, yes, thank you for giving confirmation. Then after, we can start our discussion in interest. In this revision session, I want to cover the few interest provisions. Some interest provisions you can do on your own also with the help of handwritten notes as well as a concept book also. But most important concept I am covering 234A I will cover, 234B, 234C I will cover, directly I will cover 244A. These are the four sections related problems we are getting frequently in our exams. So that's why one by one we can cover. Yes, Directly, I will start with the 234A, 234B, 234C and the combination problems we can discuss later on. In the last we can discuss about the 244A. But this is an interest related to TDS. If you are deducted the TDS amount not deposited with the government, you are required to pay interest under section 2011A. And this is an interest related to TCS. If you are collected any tax collected at source and if you are not paid to the government within the time, you are required to pay the interest. These two TDS related, generally TDS and TCS not in our syllabus, but we are getting an MCQs and these interest provisions we have in our syllabus. That's why check thoroughly by using the handwritten content. We don't have any problems, but a theory you should refer for MCQ purpose also. But what are the provisions we can cover in this revision series? These 4 provisions along with the problems we can cover. Straight away, I want to start with the 234A, 234B, 234C. Yes. Now, interest related provisions, the most important one we have an ABC 234A. 234A interest is related to return of income concept. If you are not at all filed the return of income, or if you late file the return of income after the due date, you are required to pay the interest under section 234A. And 234B and 234C are related to advance tax related. So during the previous year, totally, please check whether not at all you paid advance tax. I paid only, but that is a short payment. Now, remember, during that previous year, totally, please check. Previous year, total. Yes, I'm not at all paid the advance tax. Or I paid only, but that is treated as shortfall. Now, I have to calculate the interest under section 234B. Next, I think installment wise you have to clear the certain percentages of advance tax liability. 15%, 45%, yes sir. Can you tell me 75%, 100% you are going to clear. If you are deferred the any installment, if you are paid less amount or you are not at all paid any installment wise interest we have to calculate. Yes, that's why that is an 234C. Previous year totally if you verify 234B, installment wise if you are calculated the deferrals related interest, that is an 234C. First, you should know about what is the difference between 234B and 234C. Then only we can forward our discussion to the next level. A related to return of income default. Advance tax default related, we have in 2 provision. Total previous year, whether you paid or whether you are not paid, or if you paid short payment, then 234B. Installment wise, if you are doing any deferment, then we have to calculate that interest under section 234C. Straight away, I want to start with the 234A question. I want to start with the 234A question. Shall we start, ma? Now, at any time while you are calculating the interest, please check the 3 variables and multiply the 3 variables, you will get interest. What are the 3 variables, sir? Yes, first one, amount, second one, percentage, third one, period. Amount, on which amount we are required to calculate interest. What is the rate of interest? For which period we are going to calculate the interest? If you know these 3 variables, then advance tax or any other interest computation become very easy. 234A interest we are calculating for non-filing purpose or late filing purpose related return of income. So consequence is very easy. Here, why we are calculating the 234A interest? Either non-filing or late filing of return of income. Rate of interest is very easy here. You are required to pay the 1% per month or part of the month. Part of the month also you are required to pay 1% only. on which amount we are required to calculate the interest. On which amount we are required to calculate the interest. That is important. Remember, this interest needs to be computed. This is another level discussion. I think in your CMA final, if you are taken the coaching or if you are doing the self-study, you are doing the by-hearting of these things, but they are given in an exam in an extra level only. So in our CMA final material only, we have this extra concept other than CA final also. So that's why please listen this concept. So it will take nearly 10 minutes. So that's why I want your attention for 10 minutes. Please listen carefully. Sir, in case of non-filing. Yes, remember I'm explaining the concept. If you remember this concept, you can play a game in exam directly. Yes. During the previous year 24-25, I earned some income. On that I required to pay the tax along with the return of income. But within the due date, I am not filed the return of income. After the due date also, I am not at all filed the belated return. You are not filed the original return. You are not filed the belated return also. Then consequently, they will call for the which assessment? Best judgment assessment. So after the completion of this assessment, assessing officer will give you assessment order along with the demand notice. In this demand notice, they will ask the tax. Along with they will ask the interest also. Sir, you are not at all filed the return of income, sir. So that's why we are calculated the interest and you are required to pay that interest along with the tax liability. So that means in case of non-filing, directly interest is computed by whom? AO. Please tell me, in case of non-filing, this interest is computed by whom? AO. Sir, second consequence is there, sir. That is a late filing, sir. Now, I want to take the late filing case also. Remember this example. During that assessment year, within the due date, you are not filed the return of income. But within the due date, you are not filed the return of income. Whatever the points I am underlining, please check it out, that underlining points only. Yes. But after expiry of the due date, they are given the one more chance to file the return of income, and that is belated return. I think you know belated return can be filed 3 months prior to end of a relevant assessment year or assessment completion, whichever is what earlier. So assessment completion date I only given in this point. Yes, don't think about the assessment completion dates or how we know about that assessment completion date. Don't think about it. Remember, whichever is earlier, this date is earlier date. That's why on or before the date you can file. So that's why hero filed the return of income in a belatedly on 15th 12. Can you tell me? Belated return is filed within the time limits mentioned under 139(4). Yes, that's why it isn't valid only. But you are filing a return in a late manner. So that's why you are required to calculate the interest. Now, I will tell you. At the time of filing of return of income, can you tell me that is on what? 15th 12. That is an late filing time. You are declaring your income as an 12 lakh. On that just randomly I am given the tax 2,55,000 he got as a tax liability. So amount, rate of interest, period, if he calculated, interest he got 5,000. That means upon the payment, upon the filing of this return of income, along with this tax, he required to pay 5,000 as an interest. Yes, remember at the time of late filing, you have to pay the tax. Along with the tax, you are required to pay the what? Interest also. But after completion of assessment, can you tell me assessment is completed on which date in our example? Assessing officer verified your return of income in February month. He is saying that, sir, your income is increased by 3 lakhs, sir. So consequently, can you tell me tax liability also increased, sir? So now we calculated that interest. That's why you are required to pay that interest 5,900. But you already paid the 5,000, sir. Now please adjust the 5,000 against this and please pay 9,000 interest, 900 interest along with the demand notice. So I will ask the extra tax along with the extra interest liability also. Now, so after the completion of an assessment, assessing officer will pass the assessment order to the assessee. Along with they will pass the demand notice. In that they will ask the extra tax. Can you tell me what is that extra tax required to paid by the assessee? 1,10,000. Along with that they will ask the full interest or after adjustment interest. After adjustment they will ask the interest. Now this is only the line ma. Self-assessment, if you calculated that interest, that is a different. We got how much ma? 5,000. At the time of an assessment completion, if an assessing officer calculated, that is you got 5,900. These two things are different. Definitely. Yes, why? You are disclosing your income under disclosure that income. That's why low tax. And on this tax only we calculated that interest. That's why, yes, assessing officer increasing that income, increasing the tax liability. That's why interest also increased here. So whatever that amount you paid earlier, that can be adjusted from the final interest computed by whom? AO. Now, in case of late filing, first this should be calculated by the SSE. Then after, it can be recomputed by whom? AO. Finally, that can be recomputed by AO. Yes, in our exam, in your exam, in case of 234A, whether it is a late filing, or non-filing, always you have to check. Yes, always in your exam, whether SSC is a late filed or non-filed, you have to check. Now I will tell you. Yes, amount. So at the time of SSC computation, SSL tax means what ma? Self-assessor tax. At the time of interest computed by AO, this tax is AO determined tax. Yes, here only I am giving the clarification. In case of non-filing, only AO can compute ma. In case of late filing, first SSE can compute, then after AO can recompute these things. So that's why while you are calculating interest, whether it is computed by SSE or AO, you should know based on that only. If SSE computed this, then self-assessor tax. If AO computed this, then AO determined tax. From this, we can reduce these three things. What are the three things? TDS and TCS. Why? Sir, in previous year itself, I paid these two type of taxes, sir. No need to pay the tax with respect to these components again in that assessment year. So that's why I will not pay interest with regarding these two type of taxes. Suppose you want 1 lakh tax. Already I paid 20,000 during the previous year in the form of advance tax. In the form of TDS, I already paid 20,000. Balance only you want to collect. From me, you want to collect how much ma? 60,000 you want to collect as a tax. That is only shortfall. On this amount only I can pay interest, not on the already paid taxes during the previous year. Are you clear with respect to that amount point ma? Now, I want to know about the period. Sir, for which period I want to calculate period? Rate you know, amount also you know. If you know the period, then we can start. In case of non-filing, next day after the due date. To that, can you tell me in case of non-filing directly it is computed by whom? AO. So that's why date of completion of best judgment assessment. After the completion of this best judgment assessment only, we can know about the what is that interest we can pay. So that's why up to the date of completion of best judgment assessment, you are required to pay interest. In case of late filing, remember, in case of late filing, who can compute that interest? First SSE, then AO. In both the cases, at the time of computed by SSE also, at the time of computed by AO also, period remains same. Next day after the due date to, next day after the what due date to, yes, to date of filing of return of income, because yes, at the time of first computed by SSE also, at the time of first if computed by SSE also, next if that is computed by AO also, both the periods, both the cases we have to take the same period ma, next day after the due date to date of filing of return of income. Are you clear up to now? Please give me confirmation about your understanding up to now with regarding 234A. If you are okay, then I will discuss one more point in 234A and then we can solve some questions related to 234A concept. Yes, all of you. Remember always in section 234A, voice not coming up. Yes, please give me confirmation about audio and video. Section 234A. Sir, why we are taking data filing of RO in second case? Because late filing, ma, this is a late filing is done. So I am responsible for payment of tax with the return of income. I file the return of income on this date while calculating SSC also, while calculating AO also. Up to this period only, they want to get your return of income. You file the return of income on this day. So that's why late filing is done up to this date. That's why in both the computations, we can take this period only. Yeah. Now, example. This is only the last point we can discuss, ma. Remember. 1st August, that means what, ma? Date after the due date. So in case of non-filing, we can compute that interest up to this date. What is the date, ma? Completion of assessment. In case of non-filing, we can calculate the interest up to the date of filing of return of income. So throughout this period, you are required to calculate interest on the shortfall. So shortfall we computed, ma. What is the shortfall we got? 5 lakh. On this 5 lakh, we are required to compute the interest. Now, remember, if short payment is done, yes, definitely we are required to clear the total shortfall amount 5 lakh, but we don't have that much of money in our hands. That's why, yes, in this period, you paid self-assessment tax. Sir, if you paid at the time of return of income, that is not at all okay. Why? In this period, I need to calculate interest. In that, yes, between that one day, I paid the self-assessment tax on my own. Without filing return of income also, I can create the challan and I can pay the tax. Ma. Remember, on the date of filing of return of income, if you paid, not at all useful. Why? In this total duration, we are required to calculate interest. But if I am paying in between that period, definitely, now from this date to this date, what is the shortfall, ma? 5 lakh. On the 5 lakh, I required to calculate interest. But after this date to this date, ma, shortfall reduced to 2 lakh. On the 2 lakh only, I required to calculate. In some questions, they can mention, yes, self-assessment tax is paid along with the return of income. Now, there is no use of that. For the total period, I required to calculate the interest. If any self-assessment tax is paid in these periods, yes, we need to break down that period into two parts and we need to calculate that interest and sum together, you will get the interest. Remember, so totally tomorrow and day after tomorrow, I will take CMA inter classes. Daily 3 classes I will take. So CMA final students, with respect to that, I will upload the recordings or I will take the MCQ session only. Don't think about it. Yeah. Remember. Now, remember this point, ma. In some questions, they will say self-assessment tax along with the return of income. There is no impact of that point in that question. Why? If you paid in between that period, I can break down that period into two parts and I can calculate the interest. Clear? Yes. Now, sir, comprehensive questions mentioned in our MQPs also. I want to take the one comprehensive question with regarding these 234A, B, C question. This is an 9th question and 10th questions are one and the same. Yes, same question. They are given this 9th question in paragraph way and 10th question in a tabular way. That is only the difference. Now, I will tell you this question. In this, we have to calculate the all the interest computations, and they are asking the fees also 234F. Now we can discuss one by one in this question only. First, I think we know 234A interest related. Now we can find out the data related to 234A. Now, remember, what is that return of income filed date, Return of income filed on 3rd November 2025. 3rd November 2025. Company. What is the due date under section 139 subsection 1? 31st October of 2025. Here late filing case or non-filing case? Here late filing case. So that's why SSC first needs to compute. They are not given the details about assessing officer computation. So that's why please compute the interest by the SSC under section 234A. What are the things we are required to know about the interest under section 234A? Amount on that amount into rate of interest 1% per month or part of month. Then if you know the period also here clearly in case of late filing, in case of late filing, what is a period? Late filing case, the period date after the due date to date of filing of return of income. Date after the due date is yes, that is on 1st November 2025 to yes, that is on 3rd November. Can you tell me? 3rd November. Can you tell me? It is a part of the month also considered as a full month. That's why 1 month and you can take the 1%. And now we are required to calculate amount. Shall we calculate that amount thing? Yes. Now, please let me know, amount means here computed by SSC only, because assessing officer also needs to compute later on that, but they are not given this data. So that's why we are required to calculate the interest by the SSC. So that's why here we can take self-assessment tax. After that we can take that all the credits, then you will get shortfall amount. Now, I will tell you in this problem, yes, can you tell me, SSC reported the total income 22 lakh. The company determined the total income 22 lakh and TDS amount they are given. And remember, advance tax also paid during the previous year. Do the total and tell me for me, what is that advance tax paid, TDS paid details given, advance tax paid details also given in this question. Can you tell me, calculate the advance tax, 45,000, 1 lakh, 90,000 and 1 lakh 5,000. Yes, it is in 3 lakh 40,000 I got. Please correct me if it is wrong. Next, DTA relief also. Yes, all the credits, remember, advance tax, TDS and TCS, DTA relief, section 90, 91, AMT credit, MAT credits, all the things you can reduce, and what is a shortfall you can know. But this is a self-assessed income. On that, please calculate the self-assessed tax. Remember, what is that tax rate? For domestic company, previous year 22-23 turnover does not exceed the 400 crores. So that's why 25%. Total income does not exceed the 1 crore. So that's why no need to apply the surcharge. Only apply education cess. So that's why directly they applied the 26% including cess. You got an 5,72,000. Sir, this is the total shortfall or no? This is the tax only. As per that SSC, while filing the return of income, he required to pay this tax. But already he paid some advance tax, he can take these credits. Already he paid some TDS amount. Yes, DTA reliefs also he can get. This is a shortfall amount. Yes, remember 34,000 you got. 34,000 into, yes, 34,000 into on the shortfall. Can you tell me what is the rate of interest we can apply, ma? 1%. And how many months a period, ma? 1 month. Then you can get the interest under section 234A is nothing but 340. Sir, what about the assessing officer computation? They are not given that any details about the assessing officer computed income and assessing officer is when the assessment completed, etc. So that's why this computation is enough. Remember, if you know this format, all the things will be in your hands only. Yes, here extra credits, what are the things you can take, ma? DTAA related credits, AMT credit, MAT credit, TDS, TCS, advance tax if already paid, relief under section 8091, all the things you can take, ma. Are you clear up to now? Please give me confirmation about the understanding about the section 234A. Sir, can you tell me in between this period, example, ma? Example, in between this period, if they paid any self-assessment tax, yes, you can break down this period into two parts. But if any tax paid at the time of filing of return of income, total period shortfall 5 lakh only. Shortfall is reduced on this day. That's why on this total period, we are calculating the interest on what, ma? 5 lakh. Clear? Now, in our workbook released by the ICMAI, they are given the, yes, one small question related to this. Now we can check. Now we can check. Interest and return of income combination question they are given. After considering the TDS, advance tax, tax liability, what is that? After considering these two things, tax liability 50,000 still payable by the Vikas. Due to certain unavoidable circumstances, he not filed the return of income of an assessment year within the prescribed limit. So he approaches to advise he can file the return of income on 1st December. Yes, he can file belated return. That is only the concept of what, ma? Belated return. Before, yes, ma? Before two things, ma? Assessment completion or 31st December of an assessment year. Yes, 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year. Yes, on any time earlier of the two dates, you can file the belated return. Now he filed the belated return on this date, but now he wants to revise on the belated return because of he discovered some omissions as well as the mistakes in the belated return. Can he do the revised return, ma? Yes, he can revise the return also. But can you tell me the last date for the revised return also the same? That is 31st December of an assessment year, that is 3 months prior to the end of relevant assessment year, or assessment completion, whichever is earlier. So they are asking one more question, ma. They are asking one more question. What is that amount of interest you are required to pay? And what is that amount you are interest and fees? Can you tell me fees amount, ma? Easy. So generally, what is that, ma? 5,000. But if your total income does not exceed the 5 lakh thousand, can you tell me here total income does not exceed, so they are given anything, they are not given the given income. Income consists of 9 lakh salary and capital gain and income from other sources, so that's why that is more than 5 lakh. So that's why what is that fees you are required to pay, ma? 5,000. You are required to pay fees how much amount, ma? 5,000. Next, ma. So now we can calculate 234A interest for this question because it is a late filing or non-filing, ma? Late filing. Late filing is done next day after the due date, that is on 1st 8 2025 to 1st December 2025. How many months? August, September, October, November, December. How many months ma? 5 months. December 1 day only. But we have to consider total December month also. Part of the month. Yes ma. Amount. Rate is an 1% per month or part of the months. Total how many months ma? 5 months. Students can confuse here. August month, September, October, November, December. Totally 5 months we have to calculate. Amount, that is only now our target. So can you tell me? They are given directly 5,000, 50,000. So at the time of SSC paying the tax, after reducing this credit, it is in 50,000. Now easily you can calculate the interest. Please calculate and tell me. 50,000 into 1% into 5 months, that is an 2,500. Sir, you are required to write what is that amount, what is the rate of interest, what is that percentage of an interest, and what is the period also in your exam. If you are computed directly like this, MCQ's purpose okay, but in exam you have to write. Sir, nothing but due date this one. He filed the after the due date. So this month of delay is happened and the rate of interest 1% per month. On this amount we are required to calculate. All the things needs to write detailedly in your exam. So if you understood 234A, I want to make a move on towards the 234B section. Remaining sums you can do, but I am given my best with regarding the MQP problem, with regarding this comprehensive problem I am covering. Now I want to shift my discussion towards the 234B. Shall I start 234B? Give me confirmation, ma. All of you who are involving in this session for last 1 hour, please give me reply. Are you understood? So if you are joined in a middle, so maybe you can't understood that particularly all the provisions. So please give me a reply. Then I will start the 234B interest related content. Now 234B interest. If you are not at all paid the advance tax, you paid but that is a short payment. Now during the total previous year, whether if you are not paid advance tax, if you short paid the advance tax, we are required to calculate the interest. These three same variables you have to take. What is that amount, rate of interest and period. So what are the consequences for calculating the interest under section 234B? Either non-payment or short payment. Sir, what is a short payment? Please define now. Yes, I will tell you, ma. Entire you paid advance tax during the previous year, just 85,000, ma. But you at the time of filing of return of income, you got a tax liability. It is an actually 1 lakh you are going to pay. Sir, how this advance tax you paid based on what ma estimations? How we can match that estimations based payment of tax with the actuals? That's why they are given no need to pay 1 lakh, sir. At least if you are matched with the 90% also okay. So, but as per their expectations, they want to get the total advance tax 90,000, but you paid only 85,000. It is an my company SS is always 31st October only due date, sir. Tax audit is there, companies always 31st October only due date. Sorry, 31st October only due date for the tax audit SCs as well as for companies SCs. In this question, that is a company, whether that is a tax, always for companies tax audit is there. Don't think about it. Companies and the tax audit SCs. So companies audit, tax audit is there or not, don't think about it. Mostly we can get the tax audit for companies. Don't think about it. Companies always 31st October only, because due to voluminous of the transactions, we have an due date extended for the companies 31st October. Tax audit SC is also 31st October. Next. Now, remember, you are not at all paid their expected amount as an advance tax during the year. So that's why if your advance tax paid is less than 90% of SSR tax, then that is short payment 234B provisions now will apply. Sir, if non-payment case directly we can calculate, but short payment case always we have to check whether the short payment is there or not. How you can compute whether advance tax paid is less than 90% of SSR tax. Here I will tell you. In case of non-payment yes, you can calculate interest at the time of return of income. Then AO can recompute it Finally, after that adjustment, yes, AO will ask the differential amount. Remember, in case of non-payment case, first you can pay the 234B interest. Then after AO will calculate the 234B interest again. In case of short payment also, both the persons will compute at the time of filing of return of income you can compute, but at the time of completion of assessing officer will compute, balance they will ask So now always remember here SSR tax means at the time of SSC calculation this is an self assessment tax. In 234B case, please remember, either it is a non-payment also, either it is a non-payment or short payment also. Two persons are required to calculate first SSC, then after at the time of assessment AO. Okay. So whatever that amount you paid at the time of self-assessment tax or at the time of filing of return of income, that can be adjusted by the assessing officer from the final interest. Balance only they will collect. Balance only they will collect. Now I will tell you. If they are asking the interest under section 234B, you have to check two things. Non-payment, directly you can calculate. If that is a short payment, you have to prove it as a short payment. You have to prove whether it is a short payment is there or not. Shall we do Yes. Now, this is only they are asking So for at the time of SSC computation, whatever that interest we got under section 234B, that is completely different from the assessing officer computation. Both the things we can adjust, and the final interest only can be asked by the AO. 234B. Give me 1 minute. Now, whatever the 234B interest at the time of self-assessment, that is different from the AO computation interest. So whatever that amount you paid, that can be adjusted from the final interest under section 234B computed by AO. Now, here always SSR tax means, can you tell me if an SSC calculated that is a self-assessment tax. If AO computed that, AO determined the tax you have to take. Now, what is that amount, sir? Rate of interest here also 1% per month or part of the month only. But what is that amount? Remember, SSA tax. Can you tell me, define SSA tax ma? If SSE computed, self SSA tax. If AO computed, AO determined tax. From these, all the things you can reduce. All the credits you can reduce. On this amount, we are required to calculate the interest. Please remove all the credits. Remember advance tax. In case of non-payment, here please put it as a 0. In case of short payment, if you paid any amount, please reduce that amount. Important ma? In case of non-payment, here what is that amount? You can put 0. In case of short payment, whatever that amount you paid, yes, you can reduce it. So period is an always same ma? From that next day of an previous year, that means the first day of an assessment year, because you can pay the advance tax up to the last day of the previous year. After that expiry of that day, you can compute that interest to that completion of assessment. Can you tell me? At the time of an assessing officer, sorry, at the time of SSC paying, so can you tell me here, who are calculating first ma? SSC. That means date of self-assessment you can take. But if AO computed that, you can take the date of completion of assessing officer assessment. So here, in case of what ma? 234B computation period from the next day of an, from first day of an assessment year till what date ma? Completion of assessment. Assessment means if SSC computed, return of income date only. If AO computed, SSC, assessing officer assessment completion date you can take. Now, straight away we can discuss these two questions ma. Now, so they are asking 234B interest also. I am highlighting with the pink color ma. So 234B is applicable in case of non-payment or short payment. But SSC paid the advance tax during the previous year. That's why it is not a non-payment. Now, short payment is there or not, we need to check. Short payment is there or not, we need to check. Remember, it is an important ma. What are all the things we can check ma? Advance tax paid if it is less than 90% of SSA tax. Here, who are computing the interest ma? SSC. Now, what is that SSA tax we can take ma? Self-assessed tax. I think you know 22 lakh income. On that tax, if you calculated 5,72,000. Now, we are calculating this assessed tax ma. But already I paid TDS. Already I paid how much ma? Relief. Sorry, I got relief under section 90. How much ma? 30,000. But remember, while checking, please don't reduce the advance tax. I am comparing the whether I am paid the sufficient advance tax or not. I am comparing the advance tax paid with the 90% of SSA tax. In this, don't take the advance tax paid details. Remember, all credits you can take except advance tax. Why? I am comparing my advance tax payment details with the SSA tax 90%. That's why don't reduce advance tax here. So now SSA tax you got 3,74,000. Please calculate 90% of that. 3,36,000 their expectation, but you paid more than that. So that's why no need to calculate the interest. If that is in short paid, if I am paying less than this during that year, then I require to calculate interest. Are you understood ma? What are the two things I need to compare for knowing about the short payment ma? Advance tax and 90% of SSA tax. Sir, on which amount I need to calculate interest? Yes, this one ma. Here you can reduce advance tax. But while you are checking that, well, from SSA tax, don't reduce the advance tax. All other credits we can reduce. All other credits you can reduce. Yes, are you clear? Now, so our workbook, they are asking 234B interest also. Why 234B interest? I will tell you. SSE fails to pay the 90% of SSR tax as an advance tax. So shall we prove that? Shall we prove that? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Just he paid the okay, that is normal point, ma. Advance tax amount they are not mentioned. Still, he required to pay 50,000. That means after reducing these two things also, he required to pay this amount means it is a nothing but what, ma, short pay. Either you can, if you calculated the 9 lakh related tax liability also, you paid they are not given whatever that advance tax you paid, but you paid some amount. So assume this is a short payment. So then we can calculate, ma. Can you tell me 234B interest? Here assumption only. Yes, what is that, ma? Short payment. Non-payment case is not at all acceptable because you paid some amount of advance tax. That's why short payment. If that is a short payment, amount of tax, okay, at the time SSE calculated this, ma. So SSR tax only after reducing these two things. Can you tell me, while you are taking this amount, amount into rate of interest 1% into yes. Can you tell me here who are calculating, ma? SSE is calculating these things. That's why what is that interest period, ma? What is that interest period? Interest period is yes, first day of an assessment year to actual completion of assessment, that is return of income. Can you tell me return of income is filed on which date, ma? 1st December. That means April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Totally 9 months, ma. How you got these 9 months? From 1st April to yes, you have to take the 1st December, then you will get a 9 months. But on which amount we are going to pay the yes interest, ma? That is an SSR tax minus TDS, TCS, advance tax, anything if you pay that you can reduce. Remember again I am repeating this discussion with you. On which amount we are going to calculate interest? Upon that, all the credits you can reduce, including already paid advance tax. While you are checking whether 234B is required to pay or not, while calculating this SSR tax, can you tell me? Don't reduce advance tax paid credit. Are you clear? Now, what is that amount we can get it as an interest, ma? 4,500. What is that amount you can get it as an interest, ma? 4,500. Now 234B is also over. Sir, mostly they will ask the computation of interest by the SSE only, but in rare cases they can ask what is that interest can be computed by AO also. Remember, so this is a quick revision for you. Just give me some inputs from your side, ma. 234A. Yes, what is it? 234A. What are the consequences, ma? Late filing, non-filing. In case of late filing, who can compute directly? AO. In case of reverse. In case of what, ma? Non-filing. In case of late filing, who can compute directly in case of non-filing, ma? AO. In case of late filing, first can be computed by SSE, then it should be recomputed by AO. S234B, S2 consequences related we can calculate, ma. Non-payment, second one short payment. In case of non-payment, first computed by SSE, then it should be recomputed by AO. In case of short payment also, first computed by SSE, then after at the time of completion of an assessment, they can compute it by assessing officer also, they can compute. Are you clear up to now? Shall we start 234C? Can you define here what do you mean by the short payment? Ra? Can you define what do you mean by the short payment here? Advance tax paid is less than 90% of assessed tax. Here, while calculating this assessed tax, all the credits we can reduce except advance tax. Clear? Yes. Only 1 or 2 persons are giving the reply. Okay. I don't know what is the reason also. Now, very important thing. I want to do that along with the two comprehensive problems. We are doing that comprehensive problems, so two things. One from the workbook question number 10, and the second one we are discussing the workbook question number S2. But 234C related, I want to discuss the some independent questions also. 234C concept related, I want to discuss some independent questions also. Shall we start, ma? What is a 234C? If you are deferring any advance tax installment, if you are deferring the any advance tax installment, you are required to calculate the interest for each installment. You are required to compute the interest for each installment. Shall we talk, ma? Yes. Remember, for this, only this should be computed by SSE, sir. No need to recompute it by the AO. This should be computed by SSE only. That's why returned income, please take. On the returned income, please compute the tax. Minus TDS, TCS, minus relief under 89.1. All other credits you can reduce except advance tax. Why? I will tell you. Sir, here all credits you can reduce except advance tax. I will tell you the reason. Yeah. Whatever the tax liability you got in this step, that is an actually, yes, actually we are going to clear. That is an actually we are going to clear. That is only, yes, ma, upon the returned tax, they are expecting 15% in first installment. Second, they are expecting 45% on this amount. Third, they are expecting on this amount 75%. Fourth, they are expecting whole amount of returned tax. This is an actuals during that assessment year only we calculated these things. There is an amount due, but we paid based on what estimations during the previous year. There is an already paid. Now they are expecting these amounts in an assessment year as per the returned tax. So that's why I am not reducing that advance tax portion here. Remember, without reducing that advance tax thing, what is that final return tax they are expecting, ma? Yes, 15% of return tax, 45% of return tax, 75% of return tax, 100%. But I paid some amount during the previous year based on the estimations. I think you know, yes, 209 estimations based calculations related. Balance advance tax liability we got. Yes, we paid that as per the installment. But now, on this step, they are expecting this amount, but we paid this amount. If A minus B, that means what, ma? They are expecting more amount based on actuals, but I paid less. That's why shortfall is there. Yes, for this fixed rate for 3 months. Why? If I missed here, then I will pay next installment after 3 months. That's why 1% per month, part of the month, no, 1% for fixed 3 months. 1% for fixed 3 months. Next, if you fail to pay that yes amount as per their expectation, you paid this amount in a previous year, but they are expecting 45. Now shortfall is there, the same 1% for 3 months. If you are failed to pay here also, shortfall is there 3% for 1 month. Yes, if you failed also 3%, sorry, 1% for 1 month. Why? If you failed here, next up to the next last day of the previous year you are going to clear. So that's why part of the month, that's why 1 month. First 3 installments always 3 months 1%, last installment 1% 1 month. Sir, horrible, sir. Based on estimations, I paid this one, but you are going to match with that actuals based on return tax. Please remember, while you calculating return tax, all the credits you can reduce except advance tax. So this is an horrible only. How can I estimate accurately with your actuals? So that's why they are given the relaxation. Sir, no problem, sir. You are arguing with respect to this point only. Estimations can become difficult in that first half of the year. So that's why instead of 15%, if you are matched at least 12% of return tax also, okay. Instead of 45%, if you are matched with the 36% also, okay. For first two things only, for first two installments only, they are given the relaxation, not for the total years. Not for the total year. They are given the for first two installments. So this is only that installments related advance tax we are going to clear. But these percentages are given for relaxing the SSC from 234C during the first two installments. Remember that percentages 12%, 36 if you paid also. Okay. Are you clear up to now? Please give me confirmation ma up to now. If you are doing the total, you will get the what ma 234C interest. This format you should remember. Installment, amount due, that means their expectation, what I paid, that is an amount paid, shortfall, interest computation, this is a fixed format you have to remember for doing the problem under section 234C. Now, so this sum we can do. What is that installments amount paid they are given? Now we can check it out, total things. Returned income we know. Returned income we know. Please calculate the returned tax. Yes, returned tax already I calculated. From that, TDS, TCS only I am reducing. Advanced tax I am not reduced that. So that's why this is only SSA tax. Their expectation. Yes, what is that amount? Returned tax is same amount you will get. Yes, you can compute. Yes, that is an 3,74,000 you got. Now, installment, first installment, out of 3,74,000, they are expecting 12%. They are expecting just what, 12% also, okay. Yes, 12% means that is an 44,800 you are going to pay. You are required to pay 44,800. But upon this day, what we paid, 45. Can you tell me? Short payment is there now? No, no short payment. Sir, please calculate 15%, 3,74,000 into 15%. Definitely you will get shortfall. But relaxation you should know at the time of doing that exam. 3,74,000 into 15% if you know, this is 56,100. Yes, if you don't know this exception, you can do shortfall and you can calculate interest. That is a conceptually mistake. Are you clear? Now, next installment, 3,74,000. So 45 as per rule they are given. So please calculate 45%, 1,68,000. Yes, 300. But they are given the relaxation, This percentages is cumulatively, Remember, these percentages are expressed as cumulatively. Remember, now at least if you paid the 36 also, okay. So that's why 1,34,640, okay. But first installment already you paid as 45. Next, within that installment date, you paid 90,000. Cumulatively, they are taken the percentages. Here, cumulatively, they are taken the percentages. That's why advance tax paid also cumulatively how much, 1,35,000. Can you tell me? They want this amount, but you already paid this. No shortfall, no interest needs to be computed. Are you clear? Now, 15th December. 15th December. 75% you are going to clear. But up to now, what is that amount you are paid, Yes. Totally, these three cumulatively you paid. What is that amount you got? Yes, what is that amount you got? Please calculate. I think I'm not given the total figure. Please compute 45,000 plus 90,000 plus 1 lakh. Yes, 2,35,000 only you paid. Can you tell me short payment is there or not? Yes, they are asked. They want 2,80,500. We paid only 2,35,000. So that's why it is a shortfall. On this amount, we are calculating the 1% for how many months, ma? 3 months. That is an 1365 is an interest. Finally, yes, yes, you are required to pay the total amount, but you paid only 3,40,000 cumulatively. What is that amount you paid? 3,40,000 only cumulatively. Can you tell me shortfall is there? Yes. Can you tell me what is the shortfall, ma? 34,000, I think. Yes, ma, not 3,40,000, 34,000. On 34,000, 1% per month or part of the month. Total interest under section 234C, you got an 1705. 1705. Are you clear? Third step, please repeat. What is the third step, Ra? Third installment or third step? For first two installments only, we have a relaxation point, ma. Next, on the 75% you are going to clear, but you paid cumulatively up to this date 2,35,000 only. Shortfall amount is shortfall. This is 24. Okay. Okay. 24. Yes, 24 only. That is a normal mistake. 24. Yes. 24, 25 only. That means, yes, this is 25. Yes. Clear, ma? Okay. So 3,74,000 totally you have to pay. But up to that, how much amount you paid, ma? 3,40,000 only. So that's why what is the short payment is there? Yes, 3,74,000 their expectation, but you paid 3,40,000. 34,000 shortfall is there. On 34,000 you are required to pay 1% per 1 month only. Now, our in this they are calculated 234C. Yes, but they are clearly written, sir, he is also liable to pay interest under section 234C if he done the deferment of advance tax. They are not given any information related to advance tax installments details. That's why we are not able to compute that interest, sir. Okay, if you are writing the same question in that exam, you will simply ignore this point, but no need to ignore. You have to write it down. Maybe he required to calculate that advance tax related interest under section 234C also. But in the absence of given info, in the absence of information, we are unable to calculate that. That means, you know already what is it A, B, C interest. That information you have to pass on to the valuation. So next they are asking one more thing. So if relevant, they are asking some more thing. They are asking the what ma? What is the default? Okay, here he filed the B later written in that what ma? He filed that written in a B later manner. That's why if you having any losses, these losses shall not be carried forward to the next years. But two losses he can carry forward. What are that, ma? Income from house property, unabsorbed depreciation. It's okay. Even though he filed the loss return after the due date, also okay. But can you tell me PCBP losses, capital gain losses? Yes, ma. Any other losses? If he wants to carry forward, yes, definitely loss return should be filed within the due date. But in this case, they file the return of income after the due date. That's why losses shall not be allowed to carry forward. That impact also they are written. Now, so next point in the 234C theory I want to discuss. Then after we can discuss one more question in the 234C. Ma. Yes, all of you please give me note point related to 234C. Important, listen. We are required to pay the advance tax in that 4 installments. Am I right? In case if you are not following the 44 AD, 44 ADA, then you are required to pay that all the things in the 4 installments. Now, remember these 4 things, repeat capital gain. If you are doing the PCBP, business or profession for the first time in the first year, if you haven't casual incomes, dividend including deemed incomes, these are all incomes are highly unpredictable. I don't know when can I realize these incomes also. Yes, during the first day of the previous year, do I know about the capital gain income arises on the 1st December of the year? Ma? I don't know. So that's why without that, yes, you can calculate. Yes, and you can pay the installments on these things. Remember, if you are failure to estimate these 4 incomes, or if you are underestimated these 4 incomes also, we no need to pay the 234C interest. No need to pay the 234C interest. Remember, failure to estimate, okay. No, underestimate, okay. But no need to calculate 234C. So, because on December, I got the capital gain. But how can I estimate during the first 2 installments? So, that's why no need to consider this capital gain and pay the what, ma? Advance tax installments normally. But next 2 installments, you have to consider this capital gain. Next 2 installments, you have to consider the capital gain. Are you clear? Yes, very important point, ma. Without this, we can't do the section 234C problems. I will tell you one problem, and in one problem, what are the changes we have, I will tell you. Question number 4 I will do, and in question number 6, yes, ma, in question number 6, we have to do some changes. The changes alone I will tell you. You don't know. This is, I think, December 2023 or June 2023 exam question. Many students are asking the suggested answer for this. Yes, you have. Not only capital gain, akka. Clearly, I said these 4 incomes, akka. Capital gain income. If you are doing that PCBP, that means if you are doing the business or profession for first time, casual incomes, dividend incomes, including deemed dividend. Akka, I think you are taking dinner or you are doing any other activity also. Listen carefully. Now, okay, one problem. Question number 6, I will tell you the changes in this question. But now we can start the question number 4. A limited, they are given ma company SSC. That's why remember, while calculating the tax liabilities, you have to apply these flat rates. So they are paid the advance tax during the installments. Sorry, during the previous year. What are the advance taxes they paid, ma? 15th December, within the date they paid. 15th September, within the date they paid. Within the date. But it is an after the due date. That you have to remember. That you have to remember. Are you clear? So within the due date paid 3 installment, it is an after the due date paid. Company filed its return of income. I don't know why they are given the date also. Company always 31st October. They are given before the due date they file. What is a business income and what is a long-term capital gain? They are given long-term capital gain tax rate also in that question. Now, what is that requirement? Returned income related tax liability. But here, business income we have that is taxable at normal tax rate. Capital gain income we have that is taxable at a special tax rate. Please take the thing and you will get. But capital gain income is arises on 1st December. Because during the first two installments, we don't know that first two installment, we don't know about this capital gain income. Remember, capital gain related tax liability is arises only on what date? 1st December. Remember. So, business income related tax liability including cess, capital gain related including cess, you got this. Totally, we have to pay this amount as an advance tax during the previous year. That is only. Returned income, yes, that is only, during that assessment year, they are expecting this one. We paid these amounts during the previous year based on returned income. Please check it out. 15th June. What is that amount we paid on 15th June? 3,70,000. But they are asking the how much amount? 15% off. 15% off. How much amount? 24,96,000 only, because till December we don't know that. First 15th 6th, 15th 9th. Yes, on this day we have a capital gain, that is December 1st. Yes, next installments I will consider the capital gain amount also. But as of now, we don't know about capital gain. That's why I need to consider this only as an tax. So that's why 24,96,000 into 15%. You got 3,74,000. But relaxation point you have to apply. If you paid 12% also okay. But they are asking this amount. But you paid this. That's why no shortfall. No need to calculate interest. Next, 15th September, also we know this is only as a tax liability. On this, can you tell me two things you can apply? 45%, 36%. 45 is a normal, relaxation related 36 you can apply. But cumulatively, up to this date, we paid how much? Please do cumulatively, because these percentages are cumulatively we are applied. So that's why whatever that amount paid during the previous year also you can apply cumulatively. Here important point, listen, I am highlighting with the red color. Sir, they are asking this amount. At least, but you paid this only. Shortfall is there or not? Yes. But for knowing shortfall, you should compare these two. Relaxation point of view, they are given. If you are paid this one also okay. If you are already decided there is a shortfall, difference between these two only called as shortfall. Their expectation 45, you are not paid that. That's why this is a shortfall. Difference between these two is 4,03,200. On this 1% for how many months? 3 months. This is a very, 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 very important point you should remember. For knowing whether shortfall is there or not, yes, you can compare. What is that amount of shortfall? Difference between these two only shortfall. Clear? Next, 15th December. Now you have to consider, we know about this capital gain also. So that's why both the things all together, we are going to clear 75%. What is a 75%? If you applied, you are going to clear this amount only. But as of now, you paid these three amounts, 15th December till now. Please add 3,70,000, 3,50,000, 10,25,000. Totally 17,45,000. Their expectation 19 lakh 69,500. You paid only 17 lakh 45,000. Difference between these two things only shortfall on this 3%, sorry, 3 months related 1% you can apply. Last one also important here. Totally you have to clear altogether 100% you are going to clear. What is that amount totally? I think here we have calculated 26 lakh 26,000 you are going to clear. But you paid how much? Up to 15th March. To 15th March we paid these three only. It is also deferred. It is also deferred. These three only we paid up to 15th March. So that's why totally this amount only we paid. Shortfall amount this one. On this you can apply 1% per month or 1 month. Clear? So total if you done, that is a 27 lakh, sorry, 27,281. So definitely I am expecting this question in the upcoming exams 234C exclusively. Either they will give you that all the sections related comprehensive question. In our question also, in our workbook also they are given 234C related thing, but here he paid all installments within the due date. You can calculate on my own format also. What is that columns we have to open for doing this sum? For doing this sum, you have to open the first installments, actual amount due as per the returned income. What is that amount based on estimations we paid during the previous year? Shortfall, interest. So they are given the same question in that, but here all the installment paid within the due date. They are given the TDS. So tax payable directly they are given, and you can deduct the TDS amount. Yes, you can deduct the TDS amount. Yes, yes, ma. This question already we have. Here we have to calculate that interest, ma. They are asking that interest. 234B interest we are required to compute. Yes, as well as 234C also. Yes, short payment related we are checking. So this is an already we have in our workbook also. Remember 234C. 234B, here advance tax you paid, but we are checking whether short payment is there or not. 90% of SSR tax if you computed, that is nothing but what, ma? 60,750 we got. And already paid advance taxes is 59,875. Definitely we are required to calculate the what, ma? Advance tax. 59,875 only we paid. So if you are doing the total, you are not paid the first installment, remember properly. So deferment is happened in the first installment. Yes. So that's why first you can calculate the what, ma? 234B interest, then 234C also. You can follow my own format. You can get that all the things easily. As this is also question we have. They are asking interest, ma. Interest if they are asking here, you have to calculate two things. 234B interest. You have to calculate 234B interest as well as 234C interest also. Sir, while calculating 234B, here there is a payment of advance taxes is happened, ma. So payment of advance taxes is happened. You have to check whether shortfall is there or not. If shortfall is there, on that we are required to calculate interest. If shortfall is there, yes, on that we are required to calculate interest. 234C, if deferment of advance tax installment is happened, we are required to calculate. Do practice of these questions again. Now, sir, sixth question, what is the change, sir? What you are going to cover? Yes, I'm going in a very speed manner for this session because I want to cover that few more concepts. Listen carefully, ma. Here, differ within the due date you pay, but here deferment happen. Here within the due date you pay, here deferment happen. That is only the difference. You understood, ma? You paid advance tax 4 installments, but deferment is happened. First installment you paid within the due date, second installment defer, third installment within due date, fourth installment deferment is happened. And they are given the two incomes, ma. One is a business income they are given, another one capital gain. But capital gain amount realized on which date, ma? 15th December. That means after 15th December, we know only one installment. Within that installment, if you consider, that's okay. But from TDS credit is there. So while calculating tax liability in 234C, you can reduce the TDS credit also and all other credits also. From which tax liability we have to reduce the TDS? Remember, from business, if you can reduce, ma. Yes, from business you can reduce, because that is only the early we know as a tax liability. That's why you can reduce. Remember, SSCs, if they are reducing from this business only, you will get less amount of advance tax interest. That's why always we can reduce the TDS from the, yes, which tax liability, ma? Yes, business. Because it we know on that February, but this we know from the starting day of the previous year, this TDS amount we can reduce from business. Clear, ma, up to now? So now 1,72,800 you are going to clear. But first 3 installments are, yes, that is in 15th June, 15th 9, 15th December. We don't know about capital gain. In February month, capital gain is there. So that's why 15th March, if you consider, that's okay. But remember, here 15th 6th you paid within the due date. This is not paid within the due date. So that's why here different computations we can get. Please check thoroughly this question. Important one, the many students are confusing only. Sir, what is that advance tax you paid 15th June before ma? 10,000. 15th September before also 10,000 only. Next, 15th December before, I paid these are all. 15th December before, I paid all these ma. That's right, 1 lakh. Next, 15th March before, I paid what? Only this 1 lakh only. Are you understood, ma? So these things only you have to take in your mind while doing the problems. So that's end from my side with respect to the 234C. Are you clear? Yes, give me confirmation from your side. 234C, you have to do the practice. The most frequently they are given the 234C question only, but they can ask the 234B as well as 234C combinedly. So this is only our workbook question numbers, ma. Yes, this is only our workbook question number. Yes, they are given the question number 3 as well as question number 4, na. This is only our that question. This is only that question. Now, yes. Now next, we need to discuss the interest on refund. Important one, ma. Interest on refund. I will tell you the concept. Yes, relaxation. Sorry, every SSI can go for relaxation only. That's why you have to calculate the after relaxation only. Every SSC can get the what my relaxation while calculating the interest. So that's why you can take 244A interest on refund. I will tell you this theory. Based on this theory, you have to do the workbook question number, last question you have to do. Workbook question number 11 you have to do with respect to section 244A mandatorily. This is in June 2018 or 19. Yes, MQP question, not exam question. MQP. Yes, remember, at any time if they are given 244A interest on refund question, deadly bouncer to that all the students. So no need to frame new question. Already in their resources they have, directly they can give this question in your exam. Thoroughly you can check all the things clearly I mentioned for doing this question. Yes, maybe you required some note points computations also. I given that note points. One important point now I will tell you. At any case, while you are calculating the interest on which amount, suppose, yes, on this amount you are required to calculate the interest. On this amount you are required to calculate interest. So now you should be rounded off to that lowest multiples of 100. Then on this you are required to compute interest. If that is in the multiples of 100, okay. If that is not in the multiples of 100, not nearest, lowest. Here 530 is there. How you can do the rounding of 500? Yes, on which amount you are going to calculate the interest in income tax? That should be rounded off to lowest multiples of 100. Are you clear? Next. Sir, many students having the confusion with regarding the months computation while doing the sums. So please do the case 1. I am given the 25/9. I am given the 25/9 to the 6th. This is general points applicable for all questions. So this data is required for doing the question number 11 also. That's why first I am telling this data, general data. Any section also, 234B, 234C, 234A, while calculating the interest, on which amount we are going to calculate that interest, that should be rounded off to lowest multiples of 100. Now, between the periods, how we can calculate the months? Many students are taking 25/9 is there. From this 25/9, 1st October they are taken the 1 month. That is totally wrong. Next 1/11 they are taken next month, 2nd month. That is totally wrong. How we are going to calculate? From the date of default to. What is the date of default? 25/9, 1 month. 25/10, another month. 25/11, another month. 25/12. Next 25/1, 25/2, 25/3, 25/4. Yes, ma. 25/6, 25/7, 25/8, 25/9. Next, yes, we have an 6th 10 only. This is only the part of month. We can calculate it as a full month. Now we can calculate 1 month, 2 month, 3, yes, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have an 12. I think 1 month is missed. May. Sorry, here I missed the May mantra. So finally you will get how many, ma? 13. Sir, remember, from the date of default to exactly 1 month, full month, last if any period remaining, that you can take it as a part of month. That you can take it as a part of month. Are you clear? But here, period starting itself from the first day of the calendar month. So that's why you will get anyhow safe. Anyhow safe. Calendar months you can take. Sir, why the students can get the 14 or 12 months or any other extra other than 13 here? They will take 25/9. So whatever the number of days is considered as a part of the month, they will count it down. And next their computation started from the October month. 25/9 to September month, if they will take as a part of the month. Next October, they can take it as a full month. No, you can't do. From the date of default, yes, 1 month you have to take. Last whatever the period is there, that is only you have to take it as a part of the month. Are you clear, ma? So these two note points are required for doing the sums in this chapter. Are you clear? Now 244 A, I will tell you, ma. Yes, department is given the interest in a late manner along with the interest, along with the refund. Department is given the refund in a late manner. Along with that refund, they will give some interest also. So now how to calculate the interest, sir? Amount, simply here amount of refund only. Percentage, simply 0.5% part of the month or full month. Remember, at the time of we are paying the interest, they are asking 1%. At the time they are giving the interest, they are giving the only 0.5% per month or part of the month. Now, period only important in this question. Yes. First, for knowing the period, you have to question whether refund is given out of the TDS, TCS advance tax or whether the refund is given out of already we paid excess self-assessment tax. Example, salaried SCs are there, ma. All salaried SCs taking the refund. From which amount? TDS, TCS advance tax, because they are already paid the tax in the form of TDS. Now they are getting the refund. So now can you tell me, tax payable is 1,20,000, but already tax deducted at source is 1,35,000. Now he is eligible for getting the refund 15,000. On this 15,000 refund, we can take the 15,000 refund. We can take the 0.5% per month part of the month, period important. Now you can raise the one more question. Sir, whether this fellow is filed the return of income within the due date or whether he is not filed the return of income within the due date. Sir, many times, many tax practitioners are saying that please file the return of income within the due date. What is that advantage? I will tell you. Exactly on 31st/7 you file the return of income, but you can get the interest from the first day of an assessment year 2 till the date of grant of refund. This is an advantage. You file the return of income on this date, but they are given the return of income refund related interest from the first day of an assessment year. Sir, if you file the return of income on 31st/8 of an assessment year, that is an after due date. Now they are given the interest from which date, ma? Date of filing. That is 31st/8 of an assessment year onwards only they will give the interest to the date of grant of refund. So date of grant of refund is a different, date of receipt of grant is a date of receipt of refund is different. They are allocated the grant of a refund on October 6th, but we received that mail or amount on October 8th. So they are granting the refund from their side. It's nothing but October 6th. This is only the date we have to take in both the cases. Not received or refund. So after 2 days we received the refund. Can you tell me which date we have to take, ma? Grant of refund date only we have to take. Are you clear, ma? First of all, period. Whether we are getting the refund from the TDS, TCS advance tax. Now we can raise the question within the due date, after due date. Within the due date, if you file from the first day of that assessment year, you will get till the date of grant of refund. If you are filing the return of income after the due date, yes, this date to date of grant of refund. Now, sir, if suppose some refunds you can get the out of the self-assessment tax. I required to pay 1,50,000 by mistake, or I paid excessive tax 1,75,000 by way of self-assessment tax. Now you can get the refund. But period important here, please check. From date of filing of return of income or date of payment of tax. Sir, I filed the return of income exactly on due date, but I paid the tax before, exactly 1 day before. Whichever is later you can take. Even though you paid that on before the return of income, but I know Department will know about the payment at the time of filing of return of income only. That's why please take whichever is later. Date of filing, date of payment of the self-assessment tax, whichever is later till the date of grant of refund. So, but last date is same in all the cases, ma. Date of grant of refund. Sir, but you should remember these dates. In case of refund out of self-assessment tax, you can take the date of filing of return of income, not due date, date of filing of return of income, date of payment of tax, whichever is later, till the date of grant of refund. So based on this, you have to do this 244A related question ma. So they are given the options and these dates only I am given as an working note here. These dates only I am given as an working notes here. You can do. Now, with respect to the fees related, please check these fees related to provisions ma. 244E, sorry, 234E. This is an TDS statements if you are not filed within the due date, 200 per day we have to pay. But amount of fees should not exceed total amount of TDS. 234G also, if you are not filed the statement of financial transactions on or before the 31st May of a next financial year, you are required to pay same 200 per day. So these provisions also given in the handwritten notes. You can refer these two also. Yes, regularly we are getting the questions from these. Yes, I will show you 234E. If you are not furnishing the TDS and TCS statements properly, every day you have to pay that how much amount ma? 200 per day. The fees shall not exceed the amount of TDS. Next, 234G. If you are not filing the statement of financial transaction, here also 200 per day is there, to which default continues. Are you clear? So this is a revision related to advance tax and interest ma. Every time we are getting a question, practical questions from this. So I covered that all the important concept which I mentioned in my important questions list, but related problems now you can start practice within 30 to 45 minutes. You can complete all the problems. Then after you can take a sleep. Thank you. Have a nice day. Clear ma? Yes, thank you. I think it's 11. We can close the session for today. Tomorrow I will take MCQ sessions and I want to allocate some time to the CMA inter students also. Okay, tomorrow I will take the 3 sessions for CMA inter students. Yes, thank you. Have a nice day.